Holy cannoli, this is crazy.
Presented by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity.
And it is Warriors Live from Sacramento. John Dickinson with you here for the next half hour as we get you closer to tip-off. It's round one, game 7. A couple of the best words in professional sports. Game 7 of a series that just has been off the charts from top to bottom through the first 6 games. It's the Warriors and the Sacramento Kings, as we are brought to you by the Next Generation 10G Network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now, and it is all on the line, do or die, for the Warriors and the Kings as these two teams go at it, the Northern California rivals, one more time in the winner-take-all, do or die, Game 7, to see who will go on to meet the Los Angeles Lakers and host the Lakers on Tuesday night. If the Warriors can get through this one victorious, they'll be right back at it pretty quickly Tuesday night at Chase Center. Of course, if the Warriors can't win this one, their season is over, and their reign as NBA champions is over, coming off of 2022. Got a lot to get to here between now and noon. Your keys to the game, eye on the stats, taking it to the bank prediction, and the Warriors and the Kings coming up here again. 12:30 with the tip-off. Tim and Tom on the call here on 95.7 The Game. And just kind of getting things started with just how close this series really has been as it gets ready to embark on the Game 7 journey. And you look at the first 6 games, and it really can't be any more even than this series has been. You've got both teams 2-1 on their respective home floors. You've got both teams who have blowout victories in this series, and each of the two teams have won 2 close games out of 4. Really just ultimate thrillers that have been played over the course of the first 6 here, going back to Game 1 and 2, won by Sacramento in close and dramatic fashion here in this building, and then the Warriors eking out Game 4 and Game 5 a week ago today at Chase, down the stretch, overcoming the Stephen Curry timeout with the Warriors up 5 and seemingly having the game iced in the final 45 seconds to having to withstand the Harrison Barnes missed three-pointer at the buzzer, and then the Warriors with just an all-time performance as far as their playoff road victories go, to come back to this building after tying the series at 2 apiece and going ahead 3-2 with the win that they were able to put on the board here last Wednesday. The game's coming fast and furious between these two teams now, as no 2 days off in between had been the case between Game 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5, between 5 and 6, just the 1 day off and 1 full day off in between, with the late afternoon, early evening tip in Game 6. And the Warriors just with a collective woof in that game at Chase Center, just not locked in and maybe a little tired. We'll focus in on that here between now and 12 o'clock, how much of it was not being locked in. And I think Warrior fans are going to have to hope that it was more that than the latter, as opposed to them being tired and maybe a little bit gassed with the short rest that will be even shorter with the quick turnaround off that early evening Friday game into the afternoon game today. Game 7's all about championship pedigree and teams that have been through it. It's the youthful exuberance of Sacramento against the OG veteran presence of a core group of players and head coach who have seen a lot of big moments. And, of course, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green playing in what will be their 4th Game 7 together. The Warriors 2-1 in those Game 7s, winning against Oklahoma City at Oracle back in 2016 in the Western Conference Finals. Then in 2018 with Kevin Durant winning at Houston again in the Western Conference Finals. Of course, the one loss coming in the NBA Finals, Game 7 back in June of 2016, as the Warriors lost that 3-1 series lead to the Cavaliers and ultimately dropped that one late in the 73-9 campaign. All right, couple of things to get to here in the opening segment. The injury report brought to you by Boxer & Gerson. As always, Northern California's premier workers' compensation law firm, helping injured workers get their lives back for over 40 years. For more info, visit boxerlaw.com. And nothing of note on the injury report either way for both of these teams as they look ahead to Game 7. And De'Aaron Fox, he was off the injury report with that avulsion fracture in his left hand. not even listed going into Game 6, and De'Aaron Fox was more than effective and capable in that Game 6, really controlling the tempo, and a plus 20 in that game, an efficient 26 points for De'Aaron Fox, who's been a handful for the Warriors in this series. And so you look at his ability to play and be effective, and he was in Game 6. Off the injury report again here for Game 7. Patrick Baldwin Jr., who didn't figure to play much for the Warriors in any of these last couple of games and hasn't obviously in the series, he is out with a toe injury, so something to monitor potentially for future series or the offseason. But other than Andre Iguodala, who remains out and will be reevaluated here coming up again in a couple of weeks. Nothing of note on the injury report both ways, which is what you like to see for these two teams that have played such a thrilling series to this point. So that your injury report brought to you by Boxer and Gerson. Quickie look at the Warriors game plan brought to you by U.S. Bank, and this is something we'll tackle as well here coming up on the other side. But your Warriors game plan always brought to you by U.S. Bank. What adjustments do the Warriors have to make from Game 6 to Game 7? And I think it's got to be first and foremost getting back to what the Warriors did well in the 3 games that they won in this series, and that's taking care of the basketball. It's taking good shots and not playing so frantically as they have in the 3 losses. It's really been kind of the same cocktail of despair for the Warriors when they haven't won in this series. It's been bad shots. It's been the Kings being the aggressors and hitting them early and hitting them on the offensive glass for extra possessions, and it's also been far too many turnovers. A new wrinkle for the Kings in Game 6 as they went smaller. How do the Warriors adjust to Sacramento? And they're going with a smaller lineup, less Sabonis due to foul trouble, but I think also a little bit less Sabonis due to ineffectiveness in this series, and that's been a sneaky way where the Kings have actually not been that bad in the time where Sabonis has been off the floor. Sacramento going with Trey Lyles as a small ball center and trying to spread things out and get a little more shooting. How do the Warriors accept that challenge and make an adjustment? That's going to have to be a big part of their game plan, and we'll see what the Warriors do as far as the starting lineup goes. I got to think Draymond Green will be back in there for Golden State, but is he in for Looney? Is he in for Jordan Poole, who was really problematic for the Warriors in Game 6? Do the Warriors go with that traditional 5? Do they move Looney to the bench? All questions that remain to be seen, but I'd be stunned if Draymond Green isn't out there at the opening tap as Game 7 tips off. That, your Warriors game plan, brought to you by U.S. Bank. Coming up, we got your keys to the game. We got your eye on the stats. You're taking it to the bank prediction. All of that is coming up as Warriors Live rolls on from Golden One Center in Sacramento. It's the Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. It's round 1. It's Game 7, and we've got it for you here throughout the afternoon on 95.7 The Game.
Since first opening its doors in 1964, Fremont Bank has approached banking with a simple idea in mind. Growth comes one customer at a time. You see, while some institutions might be on the lookout for the next big thing, we like to think that's what you'll be. And when you achieve great things, it leads to success throughout the community. It also allows us to continue our tradition of giving back to the region. It's a strategy that's proven successful for nearly 60 years, and we expect to continue success for years to come. Fremont Bank, putting the community in community banking.
The playoffs are here and sports fans are laser focused. The Goodman Eye Center wants you to do the same with your eyes. We offer many options to fit your needs and correct your vision. So whether you're nearsighted, farsighted, or have astigmatism, the Goodman Eye Center can provide independence from glasses and contact lenses. When it comes to your vision, be sure to go with a winning team. Go with Dr. Daniel Goodman and his team at the Goodman Eye Center, the choice of champions. Schedule a free consultation today at GoodmanEyeCenter.com. That's GoodmanEyeCenter.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit video only, because if you don't,
You'll be sorry.
in Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael, video only.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-786-3400. That's 800-786-3400.
When looking for a partner in your property search, know that agents who are realtors are different. Realtors are bound by a code of ethics, putting your best interests first. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year. Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer. Is this for real?
Apparently. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially since you're always growing and changing. But deepening your self-awareness is the key to a happier, more fulfilled life. Therapy is all about that process of self-discovery, because sometimes you don't know what you really want until you talk things through. BetterHelp offers convenient online therapy on your schedule. It's the same professional service you'd get from an in-person therapist, but with the option to communicate when and how you want, by chat, phone, or video call. Plus, getting started is easy. Just go to their site and fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. If you don't find the right match the first time, don't worry. You can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Start on your own journey of self-discovery with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/youfirst today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/youfirst.
This is Michael David from Seattle. I'm 51 years old, and 6 months ago, I started taking Andro 400 to increase my testosterone. Since then, I've lost 35 pounds of fat, and my waist went from size 38 to size 32. I have more energy, and I look and feel 20 years younger. And now my wife tells me I have to take Andro 400.
Hi, this is Sherry. My husband started taking Andro 400 a few months ago, and wow, has he ever changed. He's no longer a couch potato, and he actually likes to go out and do things again. Best of all, he lost his gut, and is he looking good. All I have to say about that is...
Andro 400, the natural way to increase your testosterone. Guys, if you'd like to lose your belly fat, gain energy and muscle, and feel like you did years ago, try Andro 400, the safe, effective, and inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Andro400.com.
Now, back to Warriors Live, presented by Xfinity. Supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi. Unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity. On 95.7 The Game.
John Dickinson at Golden One Center in Sacramento. It's Game 7 coming your way here this afternoon on 95.7 The Game. 12:30 tip. Make sure you join me after the ball game as I'll be taking your phone calls. Warriors wrap up, win or lose, right here on 95.7 The Game, and we'll keep this thing going on into the afternoon and maybe even the early evening here as we react to Game 7, and we'll see where it leaves the Warriors onto the second round or season and potentially dynasty over, although I think that's a little bit strong for today, regardless of the outcome. Let's get to the keys to the game. We'll dive right in. Keys to the game brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. First NorCal has it all. Low auto loan rates, a super easy online application, and friendly, helpful agents. They can get you a low rate and help you save big by skipping the dealer financing and applying any dealer rebates to your down payment. Visit firstnorcalcu.org. And playoff series, always a question of adjustments, and the team that loses is always on the clock as to how quickly they can make those adjustments, and the Warriors even more quickly thanks to the fact that this is going to be a shorter turnaround with the early start for Game 6 and now the 12:30 tip here this afternoon from Sacramento. And the biggest question for me coming off of Game 6 is, were the Warriors in the 118-99 loss to the Kings, were they more unfocused like they thought they already had this thing locked up, or overmatched physically because they're gassed and because of the quick turnaround. They just didn't have enough in the tank and the 1 day off in between games as opposed to the 2 that had been the case in the prior matchups. To me, if it's the latter, the Warriors could be in a little bit of trouble in that one. And the Warriors are going to have to fight through it. I know Steve Kerr said in his pregame press conference that the Game 7 energy and getting tired and all of that and being worried about the next day or the length of a series, it kind of goes out the window because you just leave it all out there on the line and, you do what you have to do. And if that means you leave it all out on the court and you end up losing, so be it. If you leave it all out on the court, you wind up winning and it sets you back as far as your next series goes, then so be it there. You have to adjust, and all of these series are intertangled. And obviously over the years, the Warriors have been in a position where they haven't had to play a lot of these 6 and 7 game series, especially early in the playoffs. And so they've been able to win and get an appropriate amount of rest time, which has helped them down the road in some of these series. But I think a key to watch here early is where are the Warriors physically as far as things go, looking toward this one, because there were times where they looked gassed in Game 6 with the Kings' relentless pace and going a little bit smaller, but they also did not play a disciplined game by any stretch of the imagination. It just really just a sloppy game, turning the ball over, taking bad shots, a step slow on the offensive glass. Like, all of those things have to be corrected as a key to this game for the Warriors. When they've been the aggressor on the boards and prevented the Kings from getting those extra opportunities, they've won in this series. When they've been a little bit slower and patient with their offense and not taking bad shots and not kick the ball all over the arena to where the Kings can get easy opportunities and make up for maybe their own nerves in some of these games, which has led to some poorer shooting than they typically put out there, then that's something the Warriors are going to have to correct. I think another key is make the Kings feel the pressure. Make the pressure matter. One of the ways where the Warriors and the championship pedigree and the experience and all of that can shine through in this matchup is if you make the Kings feel pressure in this one. Make the building tight. Get off to a lead. Withstand an early run if the Kings hit you with one, and be right there by the end of a first quarter. I think a couple of different times in this series, in this building, Game 1 in particular, where the Warriors built a 9-point lead in the third quarter, the building did get a little tight, but the Kings came back with one of their patented 6-8, 13-2 runs, and it lit the place up going to the fourth quarter with the Warriors down in that stretch where Steph Curry took a seat late in the third quarter, and it really negated. But the crowd in this building has been tight at times, and that's the point I'm getting at. Game 5, Warriors get that 10 to 12 point lead, and there was a vibe in this building of, here come the champs. It was fun while it lasted. Make that pressure for Sacramento as the inexperienced team matter. They've been playing free and easy throughout the bulk of this series. Game 7's hit a little bit different, and that's an area where if the Warriors can play well enough to make the Kings feel that pressure, I do think it gives them an advantage in this game. Play the Game 5 game all over again is another key. Only though the Warriors can have Game 5 if they're not completely gassed. It goes back to what we were talking about as far as the look of game number 6, and everybody just a little bit sluggish, a step slow. Steph Curry was doing everything he could, but Klay Thompson didn't look like himself. The bad shot hunting Klay was in Chase Center in game 6. You had Andrew Wiggins, who I thought looked a little bit tired on the bounce back as he tries to continue to get his conditioning in order after maybe looking a little bit tired in the first couple of games. Progressively, he looked more physically like the old Andrew Wiggins, but hit a little bit of a wall in Game 6. Can he bounce back from a physicality standpoint as far as the energy and the enthusiasm goes? I think that's going to be a big key. And again, it all boils down to the Warriors' message in this series, which is rebound and take care of the basketball. The Kings' message in this series has been hit first and be physical. And they've been able to do that in the 3 games that they've won. The Warriors have been able to withstand and hold them off in the 3 games that they've won in this series. And as always, who is going to step up to help Steph Curry? That's the question. the importance of not only the role players in a Game 7 where the rotation can be a little bit tighter, but the importance of the other star players to pitch in and help Steph Curry out. In Game 5, the one game the Warriors were able to win here, it was 20 points not only for Steph, but Klay had an efficient 20, Wiggins had an efficient 20, and even Draymond Green surveyed what can be a woeful Sacramento defense to the tune of getting to the basket and getting to the free throw line and the layup line that can be on display there, and to the tune of him eclipsing that 20-point mark. So that is a key question. Who will step up alongside Steph Curry to help the Warriors ultimately prevail in this one and lead them into the next series and through, which has been a wild series to this point? I'll give you another quickie key, and we'll see, because you wouldn't expect the Warriors to be rattled by the environment, but I think withstanding that early punch is something that is important. And how do the Warriors adjust to the small ball lineup that the Kings put on them with Trey Lyles playing some 5? Alex Len was out. It'll be interesting to see. The Kings went away from Davion Mitchell a little bit. They went away from Harrison Barnes a little bit, put more shooting on the floor. I think went all offense, and Mike Brown had to be pleasantly surprised as he went all offense that the defense and the rebounding were still better for Sacramento because they were the aggressors. As hard as I've been on Jonathan Kuminga in this series, I wonder if Jonathan Kuminga could be a potential counter, because the Warriors are going to have to go small when the Kings go small and put Lyles at the 5 and try to spread things out and get a little bit more offense. As much as Kuminga's looked rattled and erratic and lost in this series, that could be a few spot minutes, a little bit of a matchup where he gets on Lyles at the small ball 5. Just something to keep an eye on, a little bit outside the box. I know Steve Kerr did say in his pregame press conference that he is going to do some things that, of course, he wouldn't divulge, but a few different things in the cards. I think Draymond Green being back in that starting lineup is going to be one of those things as well. All right, Eye on the Stats, brought to you by the Goodman Eye Center. When it comes to your vision, be sure to go with a winning team. Go with Dr. Daniel Goodman and his team at the Goodman Eye Center, the choice of champions. Schedule a free consultation today at the Goodman Eye Center and at goodmaneyecenter.com. And we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we'll make this your Eye on the Stats for this one. The Warriors with the championship core and Steve Kerr at the helm, 2-1 in Game 7s. They win in 2018 against Houston. They win against Oklahoma City in 2016 from down 3-1. In fact, the Warriors were down 3-2 and 3-1 in those two series, respectively. The Warriors losing in the 16 finals in Game 7 on the Kyrie Irving shot over at Oracle, the lone Game 7 loss. This will be the fourth one that they've played, and this is the first Game 7 in Sacramento in 21 years. You may remember back in 2002, the Western Finals, Lakers and Kings, back in that rivalry of the early aughts, and the Lakers prevailed in that one to go to the NBA Finals and win their third straight championship, winning in overtime at the old Arco Arena on that Sunday afternoon. You're taking it to the bank prediction, brought to you by Fremont Bank. Full-service banking, no compromises, and I'm expecting a big game from the championship core. Steph, Klay, Draymond, they've heard it all here the last day and a half about being old and maybe being cooked. I think they lay it all on the line and show they've got one more big game in the tank to help lead this team to victory in what will be a wild and raucous atmosphere. It's all on the championship Big 3 plus Steve Kerr. You're taking it to the bank prediction for this one. All right, join me after the ball game. Be taking your calls and texts. But the Warriors and Kings, Game 7 of the first round. It's coming up with Tim and Tom. They got the call from Sacramento. We'll talk to you after the ball game here on 95.7 The Game.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people?
Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie.
Don't they do that in the studio?
Oh, normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit cards. Published a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are